when you wake up in the morning, when you look into the mirror, you can't escape your hair. It's on your head. And somewhat similar to fashion, it kind of represents your personality inside. So I really can't stand the thought of having just black hair and listening to my grandparents and my parents' traditional wishes that, oh, you should have black hair because you're born that way. Because I believe if you have a decision to change what you were born with, why not?
When I was 10 years old, I was diagnosed with cancer and I lost all my hair, like because of chemotherapy and everything. And I was so little at the time, but like I thought, like I guess it was kind of fun to lose it because I would get to wear all these like cute hats and things. And then when I finally lost all of it and like the hairdresser kind of like buzzed off the rest of my hair and like I had like a shiny bald head and I was like really small and I was just like kind of really upset that like all of a sudden I didn't have any hair. And I hated that thought of wearing a wig because it was hair that wasn't mine. I think that's the reason why I don't like having short hair. It just was really uncomfortable because I felt like I'd lost this sort of security blanket.
All my life I had the exact same haircut, and then last year I shaved my head and I've been growing it back. And with each new inch of hair, I feel like I have a new inch of perspective on what the definition of myself, I guess, and letting go of the definition that my hair maybe gave me in the past has been, has been a positive experience. But I will say that it sucks waiting for my hair to grow back, and I can't wait for it not to be awkward and a mullet.
I got way too drunk when I was 15 and came back home on a taxi. And the next day, as a punishment, my parents, instead of not letting me go out with my friends or just not giving me any more money, they decided instead that the best punishment was going to be to cut my hair. And it was pretty bad. And it was pretty shameful to to go to school the next day just like completely bald after I had really long hair and had to explain why that happened.
I have always had the thought that, hair grows back. So although my hair looks somewhat traditional right now, I am known to cut it all off. I color it on a regular basis, yellow, white, black, red, pink. So when I go to conventions or different things, people are always sort of like, what color is her hair going to be? Because I just think it's a fun thing that you can change and it grows back and it really has no, residual effect. But when I started having children and I would go pick them up at daycare, after I would dramatically cut or change my hair, he would just start crying and tell me I wasn't his mom anymore.
I was creative with hair. I did everything one could do to black is beautiful hair. I dyed it, I fried it, I laid it to the side, I colored it, I grew it, had a ponytail. Many people stared. But it was cool. Hair is art.
So I've had the same haircut, buzz cut kind of thing for like 10 years. And every time I want to try to grow it out, I get this problem because my hair is really stiff, and until it gets to be really long, it just sticks straight out from my head.
When I was growing up, everyone always wanted to touch my hair. I think because it was very different than a lot of people that I went to high school with. And so everyone always had this fascination of like touching my hair because it had a unique texture, I guess. A little bit exotifying, but I was gonna be like, that's a really weird request, but I guess so.
I had started to have a strong desire to bleach my hair about last year, and for the longest time people really combated me on this. They said, no, it's going to look bad. Why aren't you proud to be your skin color and your hair color? Why can't you just accept it? I said, that's stupid. I'm in art school. I'm going to do what the hell I want. So I got to the beginning of this year and I said, it's my last semester. I should, finally get around to it if I'm going to do it before I become a quote-unquote real person. And I bleached my hair. And then I got to orange. And then I bleached my hair. And then I got to a little bit less orange. And then I bleached my hair again. And then my hair started falling out. And I realized this was a bad idea. But I did like the blonde. So I worked with it. And that alongside my swimming led to my hair falling out quite a lot and becoming this lovely plasticky consistency akin to perhaps a Barbie doll or maybe a Micah's Ken doll. Regardless, it was quite odd and led to a lot of insults by my younger sister. And then one day I went home. My mother threw $20 my way and said, go get yourself a haircut and get ready for those interviews. And that was that.
My hair started turning gray in my mid to late 30s. It started slowly and has become progressively now toward white. I often joke and say that I dye my hair white so that people take me more seriously. I think hair is probably an important characteristic of most people, or at least maybe lack of it. And it's something I know a lot of people talk about. I've never worried so much about my hair, maybe because I have some. But I know a lot of people do worry about it. I've always thought I could cut it any way I want and it'll always grow back.
I always had kind of shoulder-length hair, and my mom took me to get my hair cut at this Chinese hair cutting place in Chinatown in New York. And I told them to just trim it, so I was sitting in the chair, and by the end of it, it was like all chopped off, like up to my ears. And from then on, like I pretty much just didn't get a haircut for probably I think 4 or 5 years because I was scared to.
Hair, to me, it's it grows, so you don't really have to worry about it. Like, you can shave it off, it comes back. I guess it's kind of like the habitual, it's not really a nuisance, it's just kind of a fact of life.
Hair is one of those things where if it's not on your head, or if it's not attached to you or a thing, all of a sudden it becomes gross. And it's really funny how quickly it becomes gross. Like, if you just see hair in a pile, all of a sudden it's just like a weird freaky thing that if it were attached to a thing, it would be either less gross or way grosser. It's funny. When things are hairy and they're not supposed to be, it's funny. When things are not hairy and they're supposed to be, that is also funny.
Getting crepes with my friend Louise up on Thayer, and we're standing in the room, which if you've been there, it's kind of like really tiny, so if there are like 20 people in there, it's really packed. And we're waiting in line, and while I'm waiting, someone starts poking me in the back, and I hear this sound of this guy's voice, and he just keeps on saying like, dreadlock, and so I turn around, and it's this crazy looking dude. He's probably homeless, and he just like looks at me, and he holds my hand, and he turns it around and opens it up, and then he just places this like little white clump of paper towel in my hand, and he just looks at it, and then he looks at me, and he just goes, "Ganja," and then he leaves. I unravel this piece of paper towel, and it's just like pot.
I have a really big head. It's a triple XL, according to my ski helmet. And I've always had a hard time getting haircuts because I have such a big head, and I try and make it look like it fits on my body. My head hasn't changed in size since I was 4 years old. So I went from looking like a bobblehead doll to kind of an action figure to a semi-normal looking human being.
When I think about my hair, the first thought that comes to mind is that when I was 12, I won an award for having the best smelling hair at camp. And that was at a point in my life when I was using shampoo that smelled like pina colada.
Hair is style. Hair is art. Hair is political. Hair is, in some communities, desired. Hair is change. So I've learned that hair, for me now, is political. Hair is voice. Hair is decisive. Hair can be revolution.